Hi there crafters, it's Louise with you today and welcome along to the Kitaholic Kits channel. My first share for the month is to use this fabulous May kit, and I'm going to create a little mini album using the cinch machine. Now if you haven't seen one of these before, it's essentially a little machine that lets you bind your own documents at home. So I'm going to use these really pretty papers and create my own album. First thing I've done is measure out the size of the front cover just on plain white cardstock, and I'm going to use that as a template to cut all of my papers in the same size. So I'm using a roughly 7 by 8.5 sort of size to create this booklet. Now I'm choosing some of the pattern papers just in ways that I think will fit best with a background. I don't want them to be too busy, but obviously I want to showcase some of these really lovely patterned papers. Now when we use the cinch, it's an all-in-one tool, so what it allows you to do is to actually pop the little binding holes into your papers or cardstock that you're going to turn into your album, and then when you're ready it comes with these metal binders, and you trim them to size. Use the machine again to attach the papers that you've pre-cut, and then the cinch machine you push down on the same handle to actually seal the binder and make sure that it's all connected. It comes with these pair of pliers, which I also just use to fold over any sort of loose sharp ends to make sure that I've got a nice safe booklet to use. Now, because I don't have any photos to put into this album just yet, I'm creating some background templates. So all different sizes, some 3x4s, 4x6s, 4x4s, and I've just cut them on black and white cardstock just to give me a bit of an idea later on how I'm going to embellish and use this particular album. So this just makes it easier. If you haven't got photos, you can certainly just use a template of a background, and that will give you something to work with in the meantime. Now this month's kit has some great little cut apart pieces, so you can see that there is lots of scope for fussy cutting. There's lots of pretty florals that we can cut out. I do love these sort of project life cut aparts. They make it very easy to embellish on a layout, so it's one of those things that can help to get the creativity flowing. Now these are the bottom parts of the album pages that I cut out, so always keeping any of the leftover pieces because you can use those to embellish. Now being that this is the front cover, I want it to be able to stand out a little bit more than inside the actual album. So I'm going to mount some of that patterned paper just with black cardstock around the edges, just to help separate it from that background paper. Sometimes those elements can get a little bit lost when they blend into each other, so mounting them on black just helps to really let them stand out. These circles I think were absolutely made for fussy cutting, so I think you're going to have great fun with those. And the ephemera from this month's kit is super easy to use. It's got a great mixture of words and phrases, but also it's got some florals in there as well. So I'm just mounting this one up on a little bit of foam to give it some dimension. Again, because this is the cover of the album, it can have a little bit more dimension than the internal parts. But once I'm happy with how that's looking, I'm going to go ahead and stick everything down. Now what I want to do is, I'm not going to take you through the whole video of creating all of the internal parts of this album. I'm simply going to give you a walkthrough at the end. I've popped some lace into some of them. You can see there's some torn elements, some of those little ribbon bows, some great ephemera, and some stickers. So that is my first share for the month. I hope that you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, check out Kitaholic Kits and make sure you hit that little subscribe button.